Hello, Art 2. Sorry I'm not here today. I have to take my daughter to the orthodontist. These things have to be done. Today we should be carving. We want to finish up that first layer of carving. Remember that what you carve away will be white. If you're getting confused as you go, which happens, don't feel bad about that. Sketch it out in color. Get every detail, and it doesn't take long. It doesn't have to be beautiful, but it can help just to see what's going to be. In my case, I'm going to have a white background. Part of the leaf's going to be green, part's going to be red, and the reverse for the other leaves, right? Because our first print is going to be our lightest color, and it really, really helps to kind of know what that's going to be. Fill your plate up. Right, make the image nice and large. It'll be easier to cut than if you have something very, very small. Remember, at least 2 colors. You can go for 3 if you like. And the first color you print, you'll print your lightest color, and of course, like on this image, leave the white. So that's what we want to do. Start with that V gouge. And outline your image. Right? Even though I'm going to cut away the outside, so we trace it, flip it over, outline it onto our block. Probably need to tidy it up, make it a little darker, and then when you carve, even though I'm carving the outline, I'm going to use that V gouge, right? Not the thick one like this, the narrow one, to give me a thin line around the outside. So even though I'm not, I'll make sure we warm up our plate. That will make it easy to cut. So my goal is not to carve out the leaf, but I'm still going to outline it. That simply protects the image. Right, so I have a nice line around my leaf. Then, when I go to cut the big areas, right, I'm not cutting into my leaf. Right? It makes it much easier to remove that outside area if I have a line around it. Otherwise, I'm going to be guessing the whole time, and I'm going to be cutting into my leaf. It just doesn't work well. So everything you need should be on this cart. Tracing paper up here. Here, if you're going to print, you need these registration templates. Your bench hooks are down here. Always use a bench hook so you don't have to grab it with your hands. Your gouges are here, and then the different tips are in here. Remember to put your gouge, or to put the tip in the gouge. Where's my camera? Where's my camera? Over here. We lefty-loosey, so turn this to the left. You can take it all the way off. Try to avoid that. But just loosen it up. And this guy has this flat end, this kind of little rounded end. Just get that in there. You just kind of shake it. It'll slide in eventually. And then we righty-tighty in it. It's supposed to lock it. Let's try that again. So lefty-loosey. Get it in there. And then, yeah, there we go. Tighten it up, righty-tighty, and then that will hold in place. Okay? So you can change your tips that way. When you're carving, take your time, work slowly. It's when we rush that bad things happen. On the carts, if you're going to print, we have our ink, we have our brayers, our rollers, and on the bottom is the plexiglass. I put this on Google Classroom. First thing we need to do is cut a bunch, or not cut, but mark a bunch of paper. Just take that printing paper that's on the top shelf, and at 4 1/4 inches we put a little mark. That way, when we're going to print, we have our registration plate, and we line up our paper with that mark. We have a mark on the registration plate, we have a mark on the paper, we need to get them in the same spot. That way we're printing exactly in the same spot every time. Right? So when we get our 2 and 3 colors, they're laying on top of each other just right. We get our plexiglass, we get our brayer, we get our ink, put down paper, mix it, roll it, and we're good. Alright, so do the best we can today. Definitely get that first layer of carving done. And if you're feeling up to it, you can start printing. I know Vitalik has printed before, so he can help you with that. So have a good day, and I will see you tomorrow. Oh, one last thing. When you're cleaning up, don't soak the linoleum in water. Use one of the sponges, get a damp sponge, and use that to wipe off your plate. If you soak it in water, it's going to warp it, it's going to bend it, and when you try to print your second layer, that's going to be a lot more difficult. All right, so take your time today, get that carving done, be ready to print tomorrow.